When rendering the soundscape for a world where evolution has taken a turn, where instead of lions roaming the plains, you have dragons flying the skies, believability is key.
People who follow Factor 5's work know that audio is one of our key focuses. If we're going to have these realistic-looking dragons that move realistically, the sound is just as important in terms of selling them as believable creatures.
So the team set out on an expedition to the San Francisco Zoo to record the sounds of all types of animals.
Of course, we're recording the bears and every large creature, but what's surprising really, if you go to the zoo and you listen in, we are actually recording real animals, which you wouldn't think of in sound terms at all.
According to the zookeepers, one of the shyest creatures at the zoo also makes the most unusual noises.
So for the koala bears, we were actually in the cages. We didn't get anything for a while. I think they were a bit nervous. And it was when we were leaving when they finally decided to start making noise.
But while the zoo is full of exotic animals, don't expect to see them in the game.
The fantastic creatures are based on real-world animals in many cases. So we, for example, have a pretty giant rhino-based creature. But of course, in terms of sound, we want to base it on elephants, rhinos, going into that direction. The PS3 is able to do sound the way movies have been doing it for the last couple of years. So we need to use the same techniques. A sound library always tries to go middle ground. And you don't want middle ground, especially not when you're talking about a massive giant which is smashing through the world. So when you're creating a movie, you go out and record individual sounds for that movie. And that's exactly what we're doing here for the game.
The coolest sound we got today probably was the hippo in the beginning when he was coming out of the water and doing this weird noise.
That was great. Yeah.
Afterwards, they started feeding them apples and a little bit of everything actually, and they were enjoying that quite a bit and chomping down on that, so got some good sounds doing that too.
While the animals were usually kept safely behind bars, the sound team always had to be careful not to get too close.
Having the lions lunge at me was by far the most exciting thing. I've never been about 10 feet in front of a lion while it's just jumping right at me, so that was really exciting.
And on occasion, the zookeepers led the team into locations strictly off limits to the general public.
Hi, we're going to go in here and you're going to see the bears up close, and there's bars, and I want you to stay well away from the bars because if you stick any equipment or fingers, they will be gone.
The polar bears were pretty exciting. I mean, all these animals, the big ones, just have this incredible low frequency to them that you just don't hear with any other type of animal.
Okay, guys, that's a wrap. Let's go.
Hey, wait a second. Come back. Hey!
And since the San Francisco Zoo didn't have any dragons to record, ultimately, the team had to improvise.
A dragon sound, obviously, is like nothing you've heard before. But then on the other hand, you want it to be real and coming out of nature. So what you take is you take a lion sound, and then that might be your baseline. Then maybe under it, you mix in a really, really low rumble from an elephant. And then on top of it, maybe an elephant scream.
One of the things that's really funny is that the biggest, loudest part of one of our dragon roars is actually a robin pitched way down low and slowed down, and it becomes this fearsome element in the creature's voice.
All of that really blends together. To the human ear, you subconsciously get this feeling this is a real sound, but you cannot really pinpoint it. And that's really the trick to sound design.
It's not funny. Come on.